I'm trying to like help you budget better when I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Hi, I'm Rachel Ann, and today I am going to take you into my budget and we are going to prepare my March budget together. March is just a day or two away, and I want to be ready to go and be have everything set and planned for my budget. If you have not put together your March budget yet, then what are you doing here? Finish watching this video and then go work on your budget right now, because March is almost here. It is like marching in really fast. I can't believe that it's already March of 2021. Wow, that has a lot of meaning for us all, but definitely, like, I can't believe that it is already March. It just goes by so fast. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop reminiscing. We're gonna get into my budget. We're gonna go over everything that I have for March and be ready for the month before it begins. If you have already put your budget together, leave me a comment down below and let me know that that is done and complete and you are ready to go. Okay, let's get into the budget right now. All right, here we are in the budget. Let's start looking at everything, just taking it one by one. The last couple months have been really unusual for me because I just bought a house. I'm establishing everything, my bills, all of that. I'm still learning when certain bills are due. There are some bills that are due every 2 months, some bills that are due, or at least one bill that's due every 3 months, and I think I've already lost track. So I'm just kind of like putting stuff in here, and thankful that I made sure to have like an extra little buffer cushion in my sinking funds for all of this stuff that's coming up, because I'm having a hard time keeping track. I know that after a couple of months I will get into a rhythm. I will know what's coming. I'll be more prepared. But right now, like, I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, okay, is the trash bill due this month? Is the water bill due this month? Because I just found out last month that it's only due every 2 months, not every month. And I was wondering what happened to my bill in January, but all of this is kind of new for me. I have lived on my own plenty of times and paid like all the bills separately, like electricity and water and all that, but never in this city, actually. Anytime that I've lived in Louisville, which is where I'm from, anytime I've lived here, I've always lived with my parents. I've lived on my own all over the state of Kentucky, in many different areas, but I had my own place when I lived in those areas. All right, before I forget, I need to actually change the name of the month up here. So I have already copied and pasted from February, and now I am entering March. Everything else I cleared out. My church spending, that is just a straight automatic $150. I don't put anything extra in savings right now. I am working on paying off debt. If you want to know more about my debt repayment plan, I will leave a link to that video down below in the description, because that changed when I bought a house. So that's new. So my mortgage does not change, at least not until my PMI is gone. And right now that is $878.84. I have a minimum payment on my Nelnet undergrad that is $77.58. This is actually paid by my dad. My parents promised to pay for my college when I went to college, and but the bills are in my name. It's a whole thing. If you have not been following my journey, then you can go back and watch some of those videos and how that came about. But anyway, my dad actually, he pays me cash, and he pays me more than this, but this is the minimum payment. And so I just make sure that that minimum payment is transferred from my bank account to the other account, and then the money that I get from my dad, that goes into that account. But I just make sure that that gets paid just in case, you know, if I don't get to see my dad. My graduate loans, those are all me. Those are my loans that I am working on paying back. So other than the mortgage on my house, this is the only debt that I have, and that is my graduate loans. That minimum payment is actually $0 right now, thanks to the CARES Act. But it is, which they're still taking the payment for my undergrad, but I could opt out on that if I wanted to, but I haven't been, because it's, you know, my dad doesn't want that. The payment for my Navient loan on my graduate loans, those automatically went to a $0 payment. I could opt out of it the opposite way, but I do have a separate account that gets paid out of, and so that money is still automatically being transferred to that account, and then I just like I'll go in and make a payment every once in a while. I'll know at least a month ahead of time before the interest rate is tagged back on. I think we have until September now. It keeps getting extended, which I'm fine with. I will keep paying principal only. That is fine with me. So anyway, I mean, I should know at least a month ahead of time before interest starts being accrued again. Once that happens, I'll make sure to make a decent payment with the money that I have available. So then I have a little section here for an extra payment on debts, whether that is my mortgage or my graduate loans. So let me explain real quick how my budget works. So right here I have my general budget. That's what all my bills are. That is what I have allotted monthly for everything that I need to pay for in a month. I'm still learning all of that with the purchase of a new house. This is all kind of new for me, and still trying to figure it out. But what I do is I take my bare minimum that I would make in a month, which is 2 paychecks. I get paid twice a month, and it is salary, so I know exactly how much that is going to be. And then I take that amount and I budget all of that money in a zero-based budget. Basically, after all my bills are paid, or after all of my spending has been divvied out, I have about $24 left to pay on debt, which is it's a tight budget. There's not a lot of extra wiggle room in there. But everything changes month to month. Some months I need more gas money because I have a second job. Some months I pay the water bill, some months I don't. Some months I pay the trash bill, some months I don't. So that is one of these things that like I'm adjusting in here. And so money gets moved around from month to month all the time. But when I make those adjustments, I guess, for just like 1 month, I want to remember what it's supposed to be in any given normal month. So I have my general budget over here to remind me this is what I should be doing about every month, unless there's, something unusual going on. Then over here, my allotted spending, that is what I'm allowed for the current month that we're in. So right now, looking at the top, we're in March. This is what I have for March. So not a lot changes up here at the top. This is all your basic, mortgage isn't going to change. Now my student loan payments may change based on I am on income-based repayment, and also, I have $0 payment right now. So, I mean, that does change from time to time, but basically it's the same amount for at least a year, and then I can go in and adjust it if I need to. My sinking funds, I really try to make that be the same each month. I have an automatic transfer of $250 at the beginning of the month. It goes into my sinking funds. My subscriptions, so this is not just like Netflix, but it's also a printer ink subscription. I have HP Instant Ink that I use. It's also Apple storage. I don't have a lot of storage on my phone, so I pay 99 cents a month for cloud storage. There's several different things there that's involved in subscriptions. So that right now is $29.45. My electricity and gas for the house, I budget $100, and it's been more than that. At least it was last month because it was really, really cold. I think it was about $30 over, which I don't think is too bad considering not only was it like cold and snowy, but I was in my house a lot more than normal. I was working from home rather than at school. Now our school is face-to-face, but there were a lot of days that we had off because of snow. I'm not surprised that was over budget. I'm going to keep this at $100 and hope that because it's warmer in March, the furnace won't be running as much and it'll be a little bit cheaper. So I am going to stick with $100 and hope that the general budget doesn't need to be adjusted. Water, that is an issue. So I thought that water was going to be around $25 a month because, I mean, I would pay between $15 and $20 a month any other time that I lived on my own. But yeah, this is, the third month now, and my water bill really has been closer to like $40 to $50 a month. Maybe, and I hope that this is just a one-off thing, I did do a lot of dishes and a lot of clothes that I washed when I moved into the house because there were I had all of my stuff in storage in my parents' basement, and so there was a lot of clothes that were stored there, but then it was also all of my dishes, everything. So I was using a lot of water in December and January, and so I'm hoping that that bill comes back down. I think I am gonna kind of raise this up a little bit and put $40 on here and hope that it's not more than that for the next month. However, this is also a bill that gets paid twice a month. I'm sorry, not twice a month. This is a bill that gets paid every other month. I think this bill is due. I don't even know what this bill is due. Like, oh my gosh. I'm sitting here, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I'm trying to like help you budget better when I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, because it's weird. Like, it's weird when things change and you do something like buy a house, everything changes. You have no idea what's going on. And you know what? I might feel like I have no clue what's going on in my budget, but I hope that I can still be encouraging for you that it's okay to not know what you're doing. You just have to like try, and then you learn how to adjust. And that's exactly what I do. I've been doing this for several years now, and I feel like I can adjust well. Having some money in sinking funds, having some money in reserve really, really helps with those times when you're like, oh, whoops, I completely forgot that yes, you do have to pay electricity once a month because we like lights. So anyway, let's keep going. See what else happens with the budget that I have no clue what's going on. Internet, that does not change. Actually, that does change. That did change last month. You will see that in my February budget recap. I thought that this is a good change, but I thought that my bill was more expensive than it actually is, and that's because when I set up my internet in December, there was like a $10 or $20 one-time charge for setting it up, and I thought that that was the actual bill like every month. And so I actually have a lower internet bill than I originally thought. So that was a good change. So it is $54.99. My trash is paid every 3 months, and it is a $60 bill every 3 months. Now I paid this bill in December, so I think maybe in March. I think I'm gonna have to pay this bill in March. I think I put that in February because I wasn't sure if it was due, so I just planned for it. I have 20 over here because it's $20 a month, but it's $60 every 3 months, so that's one that's gonna throw me off. The water's gonna throw me off. Like, this is gonna take some getting used to, for sure. Honestly, I don't know if I should just have sinking funds for those, but I don't feel like it's enough money that it warrants an actual sinking fund. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know, should I make sinking funds for these bills that are not monthly, or should I just kind of like put them in and just keep working with the budget until I get used to it? I'd really like to know, like, what do you suggest? Because like I said, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing right now. My Verizon bill, that is normally around $54. Gasoline for my car, $50, has been doing me well. I don't even know that I've spent that much. I'll have to double check my budget for the month of February. So, but I think $50 is good. I live really close to where I work. Groceries. Okay, so this is a fun one. I just posted a video on Thursday, and that was about how I am challenging myself to lower my grocery budget. So there's a few things going on with my grocery budget. One, yes, I know I'm buying things that I really don't need to be buying. That's like junk food, and then also like stocking up on items that I already have plenty of things of. And so I do want to get my grocery budget under control, but I was putting like household things under my groceries, and I really want to separate out my groceries from my household items because I can so easily spend like $20 on groceries and then go spend, you know, $500 on household items, and then I don't know where that's spending. If it's all in one, I don't know if, am I spending too much in groceries? Like, maybe I really could cut that grocery budget back. Maybe I'm really spending like $70 a month in groceries and, you know, just a couple $100s in household items. So I really want to separate that out. Make sure I know like where the problem is for going over budget, because spoiler alert, I went over budget in groceries even with a $300 budget, and I live by myself. Well, myself and my dog, and she eats for maybe $20 a month, maybe. So anyway, I have decided that I'm going to do a grocery budget challenge. I'm going to spend no more than $10 a week on groceries. I'm also going to be separating out my groceries from my household items. I don't know how much I need for household items. That's part of what this challenge is about. If I'm only spending $10 on actual food a week, and I'm more intentional about splitting up my receipt or making a separate purchase for household items, then I can see how much am I really spending on these household things, and then I can create a better budget on that. So for the month of March, I'm going to take this down to $40. Let me double check that, because March is like a longer month. Yeah, I'm glad I double checked that, because there's actually, it's closer to 5 weeks in March, so I'm gonna put $50, just because it's more like 5 weeks. For my teaching budget, $25. That's been doing me really, really well. I don't think I'm gonna need much more than that. I really don't spend a whole lot. I have been very intentional about like finding free resources. Next up is spending. I have almost always had about $60 for spending, and most of the time I don't come anywhere near that amount. I don't like to lower it because sometimes I want to do something extra. The problem is it's hard to do anything extra when everything is basically shut down. I am hopeful that the world will start opening back up soon, and we can start going out and doing more things, and I'm going to want to do more things now that, I really haven't done much of anything for an entire year. If I don't spend it, then the extra goes towards, debt payment. Restaurants, sometimes I have trouble staying in that budget, and then other months, like, I don't come anywhere near spending it. So I just kind of keep it there, and if I overspend, I overspend. Oh gosh, I hate that I sounded so nonchalant about that. If I overspend because there are reasons or it just happens, then it happens, and I have extra money in my budget, extra wiggle room. It can come from somewhere else. If it absolutely has to, it can come from sinking funds, but it's not something that happens very often. So I'm usually pretty good about staying within budget in restaurants. When I go over in restaurants, it's usually because I have gone out with family somewhere to eat, and I think that family is more important because I do have the extra money. And then other times that I might go over is if I'm like super, super busy and I am working a lot or have a second job. And I think if I'm working a lot, having a second job, going over in restaurants to kind of keep my sanity, but I'm still making more than what I'm overspending in that one category, it's okay. That's one thing about my budget. I try not to beat myself up over it, but I do want to like rein in spending when I'm having trouble with it, such as the grocery problem. So I feel like that has been a problem the last few months, so I want to try to fix it before it becomes a really bad habit. But just because I've gone over budget one month doesn't mean I'm freaking out. It's not the end of the world, because, it's okay. It's going to be fine. I just need to do better next time. Anyway, this gives me an extra, looks like 200? Yeah, an extra $219.30 in my budget, because I am not going to be spending that much in groceries. I think that I am going to need a household budget, and I don't know if this should be a sinking fund. I don't know if household items should just come from my household repairs sinking fund. I'm leaning towards no on that, because if I need toilet paper or cleaning supplies, like I don't want that to come from repairs that I want to do on the house. I want new windows and new doors, and I want to build a carport outside, and there's all this stuff that I want to do, but it takes money, and I want to be saving up for that. So I do have that sinking fund, and I don't want to like wear away at that sinking fund because I need toilet paper and garbage bags, I think I'm going to put this in right here. I think I'm going to adjust my general budget. I mean, I can always adjust it later. So right now I'm going to say $200 a month for groceries, which I think is still a good amount for one person. And then $100 a month for other household things like toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, garbage bags, cleaning supplies. I think that'll be good. So I'm gonna give myself $100 for that stuff. And hopefully I have bought pretty much everything I need in the last 3 months, and I don't need to be spending very much of that. But that still leaves me $119.30 that I can put, hopefully, an extra payment, on my student loans or on my mortgage. Actually, it'll probably be my mortgage because that is what my new debt payment is. It's just kind of like a habit to say extra student loan payment. It's not an extra student loan payment. It's an extra debt payment no matter where it goes. If I'm paying on debt, I'm paying on debt. It's a good thing. That's good. So that actually gives me a lot more wiggle room because right here I've got in my general budget $24.30. Like, that's not very much room in the budget for, if something happens that month and or I go like way over budget on something, there's not a lot of wiggle room in there. I like that there's $119 worth of wiggle room now. Although, if you want to get technical, there's another $77.58 of wiggle room too, because that money does get given to me. All right, that is it. That is my budget. I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video for actually getting my budget set up before the month, because I don't think I did that last month. And then I think I forgot to do it at all in January. So yay, give me a thumbs up. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.